Hi, the question will appear on your screen in few seconds. Please pause this video to solve the question on your own, and once you are done, resume the video to check the solution. Here is the question. Let's start with passage analysis. Many athletes inhale pure oxygen after exercise in an attempt to increase muscular reabsorption of oxygen. Long sentence, let's understand it bit by bit. The sentence is about many athletes. It is not about every athlete, it is about many athletes. Many athletes, what do? They inhale pure oxygen. So this is something different that they are doing. They are not inhaling normal air. They are inhaling pure oxygen when this is the time after exercise in an attempt. So this is the intent. What are they trying to do? They are trying to increase the muscular reabsorption of oxygen. All right. So you can think about athletes sitting and there's a group who is that entire group is inhaling pure oxygen, and then there may be another group the people in that group are not inhaling pure oxygen, they are inhaling normal air. All right, so this is what is happening. Let's read further. Measured continuously after exercise. So something is measured continuously after exercise. Remember that after exercise is the time when these athletes are inhaling pure oxygen. So something is measured continuously after exercise. However is a contrast word. So we are going to read a contrast. Let's see what it is. The blood lactate levels of athletes who inhale pure oxygen. So this is the first group. Athletes who inhale pure oxygen. This is the first group. Are practically identical on average to those of athletes who breathe normal air. So, what is this sentence comparing? This sentence is comparing the blood lactate levels. This is a new term that has been introduced, and the comparison is made between athletes who inhale pure oxygen and athletes who breathe normal air. So, the two groups that we saw here. And this sentence is saying that these blood lactate levels are practically identical on average. So if you look at a group level, we are not talking about individual level. At a group level, the levels are practically identical. That is, they are almost same. There may be some minor difference. They are almost the same. Right? Now, so the first sentence told us that these athletes, these many athletes, they inhale pure oxygen to increase muscular reabsorption of oxygen. The second level, the second sentence, it presents information about blood lactate levels, and it makes a comparison of blood lactate levels for athletes who inhale pure oxygen and athletes who breathe normal air, and a contrast has been presented. So what we do not know what is the relationship between this blood lactate level and muscular reabsorption of oxygen, but the way it is written, the contrast that has been presented, it indicates that most likely it was expected that blood lactate levels of this group will be different from this group. That should have been the expectation, and that is why when these two were found to be almost identical, it seemed to be contrasting. All right, so let's read further to understand if a relationship between blood lactate levels and muscular reabsorption of oxygen has been given. The lower the blood lactate level is, so we are talking about the level of blood lactate level, the higher the muscular reabsorption of oxygen is. So here the relationship between blood lactate levels and muscular reabsorption of oxygen has been presented, and it is being said that the lower this blood lactate level is, the higher the muscular reabsorption of oxygen is. So if we relate it back to what we have read, muscular reabsorption of oxygen would have been higher if this group, the athletes who inhale pure oxygen, if this group had lower blood lactate levels compared to the other group. Now they have the same level, which indicates that this muscular reabsorption of oxygen is not higher for the other group, for the first group. That is what the passage is indicating. And now let's update our bridge table for this analysis. So if you understood the passage logic completely, you can mark a tick here. However, if you missed anything or you misunderstood anything, mark a cross here and write down your explanation here. Why did you miss? Now, let's understand what the correct answer choice should convey. The question stem here is, if the statements above are all true, that is, all the given information in the passage is true, they most strongly support which of the following conclusions? So we need to find a conclusion. Now, a conclusion, considering that the passage is true, this conclusion is an inference. Whenever a question stem asks you to find a conclusion, considering that all the statements in the passage are given to be true, then you need to find an inference that is something that is definitely true as per the passage. Therefore, the correct answer choice will convey something that is definitely true as per the passage. If you had this understanding when you were solving the question, mark a tick here. Otherwise, if let's say you got confused between confusion and between conclusion and inference or something else, or you skipped this step, mark a cross here and write down this exact reason here. This exact reason. Choice A. Athletes' muscular reabsorption of oxygen is not increased when they inhale pure oxygen instead of normal air. Now, this is what the passage tells us. The passage told us that there are two groups, group 1 and group 2. Group 1 inhales pure oxygen after exercise, group 2 does not. And when measured continuously, the blood lactate level was found to be similar for both these groups. That is what we read. And this indicates that the muscular reabsorption for this group has not increased, which means that inhaling pure oxygen instead of normal air does not increase athletes' muscular reabsorption of oxygen. That is what the choice says, and this is something that is definitely true as per the passage, and that is why it is the correct inference. Now, if you rejected this choice, you need to go to your bridge table and understand why did you reject the correct choice. Did you not understand the choice? It can be because of passage understanding, definitely. Or it can be because you do not know what the correct answer choice needs to convey. Or you did not understand the meaning, or you did not pay attention, you rushed through anything. That reason needs to be entered here, and this will help you define the corrective action. Choice B. High blood lactate levels cannot be reduced. So, this choice is making a claim about the possibility of reducing high blood lactate levels. And this choice says that if someone has high blood lactate level, that level cannot be reduced. Does the passage tell us anything about can or cannot these blood lactate levels, if they are at high level, can they be reduced or they cannot be reduced? Does the passage tell you anything about it? No. And that is why this choice is not definitely true as per the passage, and that is why it is incorrect inference, it is incorrect conclusion. If you selected choice B, you need to go back to your bridge table. One reason why you selected choice B can be that you did not understand the passage logic, or you did not know what the correct answer choice needs to convey. The third reason can be that you did not understand choice B. You did not understand what it is trying to say. So, if that was the case, mark a cross here and write down the reason here. The other possibility is that you understood choice B, but you did not align it with what the correct answer choice needs to convey. If that was the case, mark a cross here and write down the exact reason. Now, these reasons will help you understand the corrective action. The corrective choice C. Blood lactate levels are a poor measure of oxygen reabsorption by muscles. So, this choice is trying to say that blood lactate levels are not a good way to measure oxygen reabsorption by muscles. Does the passage tell us anything about it? The answer is no. If you selected this choice, most likely you brought in some assumptions. You considered some possibilities. For example, you thought that group 1 is inhaling oxygen and the intent is to increase the oxygen reabsorption. This is what is given to us. Most likely, you considered it to be a fact that if oxygen, pure oxygen, is inhaled, it will definitely increase oxygen reabsorption. So, while the correct information is that it is intended to increase oxygen reabsorption, maybe you consider that it will definitely increase oxygen reabsorption, right? So, when you saw that blood lactate levels are not indicating this increase, you thought that these are a poor measure, but that is not correct. Your understanding of passage was not correct here. So, this can be one reason why you selected choice C. You need to evaluate your own thought process. Why did you think that blood lactate levels are a poor measure? Because the passage does not tell us. The passage tells us that increasing oxygen reabsorption is the intent. It is not something that is going to be definitely true. It is the intent. And what is given to us? That the blood lactate levels are practically identical for the two groups. That is a fact given to us. The other fact given to us is that the lower the blood lactate level is, the higher the muscular reabsorption of oxygen is. This is another fact given to us. These are the two facts. This is the intent. So most likely, if you selected choice B, you got confused between what fact is given to you, what is the assumption that you are bringing in, what can you question, what can you not question. So please review your thought process and understand what made you select choice C and update your bridge table accordingly. So here you will choice D. The amount of oxygen reabsorbed by an athlete's muscles always remains constant. So this is making an absolute claim about the level, the amount of oxygen that is reabsorbed by athlete's muscles, and it says that it always stays constant no matter what you do. Now the passage only tells us that inhaling pure oxygen does not increase this muscular reabsorption. It does not tell us that any other way will also not help increase or reduce muscular reabsorption. For example, what if these athletes change their diet? Or what if they change their exercise pattern? Or what if they change their sleeping pattern? We do not know. There can be multiple factors and we do not know the impact. Any of these can lead to an increase or reduction in the amount of oxygen being reabsorbed by athlete's muscles. So this is something that is not supported by the passage. It is not something that is definitely true, and hence it is not a correct inference. It is not a correct conclusion. Please update your bridge table if you selected choice D. Choice E. The inhaling of pure oxygen has no legitimate role in athletes. So this choice is talking about inhaling of pure oxygen, and it is saying that it has no legitimate role in athletes. Now, yes, the passage says that inhaling pure oxygen does not lead to increased oxygen reabsorption. However, absorption. However, we do not know if it has some other effect or not. It plays some other role or not. Maybe it makes them stronger. Maybe it increases stamina. Maybe it has an impact on heart rate, on calorie burn, anything. We do not know. The passage does not tell us about any other effect. Hence, we cannot say that this inhaling of pure oxygen has no legitimate role. And that is why this choice is incorrect. It is not something that is definitely true as per the passage. So, this is incorrect. This is an incorrect inference. This is an incorrect conclusion. If you selected this choice, again, you need to analyze what made you select this answer choice. You need to review your thought process. I gave you an explanation. So we are done with this question now, and you have your updated bridge table that tells you what kind of mistakes you made in this question. Hope you will be able to take the corrective actions for these mistakes and not repeat these mistakes in the other questions. If you need any help deciding the corrective actions, do let us know.